now, so I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Okay, what's up guys? This is the chapter 5 version of the tutorial series that I've been making. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to explain every screen to the best of my ability in the way it's completed at a high level in the any percent run. I will not be explaining anything about red berries. I may make a mention as to what you need to do to go get a heart or a cassette for like an all hearts or something like that, but I won't be like exactly going through those screens screen by screen. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into it, and the first screen is pretty straightforward. The only thing is that when you enter the next screen, you have to be like at jump height. You have to be like right here. You can see because of this thing. So if you like hyper into the screen, you're gonna run into a wall. So what I like to do, since you start over here, is I like to hyper and then jump and dash like that. So that helps you get over that hump like really easily. So I'll hit restart chapter and you can see what I mean here. You skip the cutscene and then I hyper and then jump and then I dash like that. And then this section, it's generally just, you just need fast movement. When I say fast movement, I mean you need to like optimize the way Madeline is moving so as to minimize running into walls and trying to maintain hyper momentum at it throughout most of the screen. If you don't understand any of the terminology I'm using, you can go back and look at the chapter 1 tutorial, and there I explain like what hyper dashing, wave dashing, wall bouncing, all that stuff is like. So if you don't have, if you see me say something like just hey wave dash here and you don't understand what I mean, go back, check out the chapter 1 video and all the terminology is explained there. So for me personally, what I do is I just use regular dashes for all of this. You can use hypers. Hypers are pretty fast. I find that I have more control when I use regular dashes, so I just do dash 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 dash, and then from here, you want to hyper off of this to get to the next screen. So you can either walk off of this and wave dash and get here, or you can just land here and hyper, depending on what you prefer. The reason you want to hyper is because you want to land here. You don't want to have to jump up here. You want to land here and you want to bunny hop to this. Because when you bunny hop, you maintain momentum. Also, when you transition with the hyper here, you have to hold jump to maintain the right elevation. So I'm going to hyper and then I'm going to press jump, and then that allows me to do that strategy right there. Basically what I'm doing is I'm dashing straight over the top of this platform, and the momentum of the platform is going to launch me vertically to the next platform like that. Also, since you land on this platform, you get your dash back, so if you don't quite make it, you can dash again like that. Then from here is you're just one hyper dash away from the door. Oops. Make sure you do it quickly so that you don't get launched by the moving block like that. When you land here, if you just hyper dash again, you'll go immediately into the bubble on the next screen. Don't forget that when you go into these red bubbles, that you can press dash to launch yourself out of the bubble faster. This is the normal delay, and this is me pressing dash. So you want to hyper into it and then immediately press dash, and then dash down to right here. If you do an extended hyper dash from this spot, extended means you maintain your jump, your dash. Sorry. If you do an extended hyper dash, meaning you jump late and maintain your dash, you'll actually dash far enough to get into the bubble in the next screen. If you just do a hyper dash, you don't reach this bubble. So make sure you're doing an extended hyper dash to delay your jump a little bit so that you can get in the bubble. You want to launch yourself down here. This bubble right here, you can actually dash up out of that bubble, and you'll be able to reach this bubble by dashing straight up. You can dash straight up or dash up left. Thanks for the follow, by the way. When you get up here, this is one of the trickier jumps at the beginning of Mirror Temple. What you can do is you can wave dash immediately out of exiting the bubble. So you exit the bubble and then you just dash down like this and land here. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can just come out of the bubble, land here, and then just dash to jump forward like that. Once you're here, you can hyper off of the platform when it's at this exact height that's being shown right now, or you can wave dash off of the left side of the platform. I like to do the wave dash because it doesn't matter where the platform is in terms of height for the wave dash, but it does matter for the hyper dash. So I like to do the wave dash, and you got to make sure it's an extended wave dash so that you keep your dash. So you see it like this. Yo, thanks for the follow again. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off notifications, but I'll keep an eye on them, and thank you guys all later at the end. Again, so you can either do wave dash, land, wave dash, dash. Oops, fudge, I didn't want it. Okay, I'll just do it again from the other side. This screen, if you come into this screen and just do the screen normally, you should never have an issue with these guys. The only time you have an issue with those guys is if you come into the screen, dash, and then like fast shoot yourself out of the bubble. Like that's the only time. See, like I went so fast that I beat the cycle, and now I have no way of getting through. That's the only time you should have an issue. So if you're not going like max speed, you should be. I just walk into the room and then just take the bubble. And then you get your key, take your switch, and come here. One last note about this jump right here is you can actually just wave dash twice out of the bubble. So you can do like, oops. I'm gonna go out that door actually so that I can respawn there. Like that. That's what you can do to get through there. And that's like the fastest strat. I don't think I can get back here. Oh, I could do a wave dash actually. It's tight, but I could do it. There we go. So then afterwards, you're gonna fall down here. As soon as you turn this corner right here, where the spikes end, like where the top of Madeline's hair is, you can dash down and to the right. Oh, thank you, whoever pointed that out. You could dash down and to the right here, and you'll reach that bubble. I did it a little late. But from this bubble, you can shoot yourself down and to the right and come to the door here with the key. So these next two screens are just like a bunch of fast movement. You want to come up here, you can just smush this switch. If you want to be fancy, you could do a reverse wave dash like that to smush the switch. Smush the switch. This room, if you hyper into this room, you can bunny hop to this next platform over here. This one right here, and then dash up, and then dash here. If you don't hyper into this room, and I don't personally hyper into this room, I just dash into the room, and dash, and then you can wall bounce right here. And that's almost the same thing. The intended way to do this room is to land on this thing and launch yourself up here. But if you're able to get up here, you can do an extended hyper dash and then dash straight up to grab this ledge, and that's faster. You can also do it with a wave dash. Oops. Again, wave dashes and hyper dashes are interchangeable, so you can always use one or the other, whichever one you're more comfortable with. And if you do miss it, like let's say you don't grab it, you can just land on the platform and then launch yourself up. It's not a big deal. This next jump, there's a couple ways to do this. The way TGH does it is he goes under it and then like dashes up and grabs it. So I'm not exactly even sure how you get that like that. And this lets him jump higher off the block and get up here right away. The easy way to do it is to just dash down and grab the front of the block and then dash under it. And then there's like some super insane way that I don't even know how to do, where you like dash into here like this and then do this, which I did it on the first try, but I've never done that before. So those are just the 3 different strats for that room. They're all about this, except for this insane strat that I did at the end. They're all about the same time, so you can do whichever one you want. To exit the screen, you want to hyper dash, and then you want to bunny hop on the next screen to clear the gap that's between the 2 platforms. So it looks like this. Because there's a gap here that'll make you fall, and there's a gap here that'll make you fall. So you want to make sure you clear them by doing bunny hop and then dash, and then hypering all the way across. This screen right here is where you have to go up and down for the heart and the cassette, and that's up is the key that you'll need for the heart in the later screen, and down is the cassette. We skip the key in any percent because you can just avoid the lock door that's in this screen here. You can just skip this lock door by going around. So when you get into this bubble, this one right here, you can just launch yourself with a dash after passing this light right here that's on the wall. As soon as you pass this light, you can go down forward and get to the bubble. And then go back the way you came. And then this middle platform right here, you can even see the opening on the bottom of it. This middle platform is where you have to go to skip the door. And then you just dash across the top. This is all just regular fast movement. When you're fast moving on this screen, remember that there's an issue in this game where if you press jump too quickly after launching yourself into a wall, even if you're holding grab, you will bounce away from the wall. So make sure you wait just that fraction of a second so that you don't get awked, as we call it, awkward accidental wall kicks. So we may put an F in front of that sometimes because it's really, really frustrating. You want to grab here, come here, remember to press dash to launch yourself faster. And then right here, the faster way to do this is to just launch yourself straight over the wall. You can use the ability to launch yourself sooner out of bubbles to maneuver around these cycles. These blade enemies here, if they're right in your way, you don't press anything and wait for the delay of the bubble. And if they're not in your way, then you just press dash to launch yourself out of the bubble quicker and beat their cycle. Oops, I didn't make it. I can't do that. See right there, I just let the bubble rock because he was right in front of the bubble. So if I had shot myself out earlier, I would have killed myself. And then these guys, I usually wait for them to move out of the way and then shoot myself out of the bubble instantly. And you want to dash up here and come up here. And you can just dash straight from the transition because the transition gives you your dash back. And then you go up. I like to wave dash out of that bubble. You can get out of it however you want. Ground pound this switch, ground pound this switch. And as soon as Madeline's body disappears behind the curtain, you can skip the cutscene. That's a good cue if you don't know the timing. Okay, so this section, when you press dash, this guy goes, he dashes just like Madeline. It's pretty fast, it's hard to control. What I like to do from here is first go around this bottom platform, so it's down right, down left, then up left, and bang this wall. And then once you get here, your objective is to get around this wall right here. So I go down, down left, left, then up twice. And that'll line me up with the wall that's here. It also lines me up with this wall here. So if you go up twice and you line yourself up with the top of this wall, you can dash into this wall and then dash into the next wall. And then if you move up forward just a little bit to clear that, you can get to Madeline with 3 dashes and then kill her with the 4th. You can also skip that death animation by mashing jump. This screen is just regular movement to trigger battle line. Remember to skip cutscenes as fast as you can in any percent. I like to land here and dash into the next screen just for a little bit of more momentum, but it doesn't really matter at all. This screen, you can actually hit the switch directly from the bubble. It's pretty tight, but if you get, it's worth going for because there's no drawback to missing it. You'll just land on the platform like that. And I actually accidentally did that. I didn't mean to, but if you just extend the dash from the platform, you can make it all the way to the end here. This room, make sure you don't dash, but you can still fast shoot yourself out of the bubble. Like I still pressed R, to fast shoot myself out of the bubble, but it doesn't trigger the platform if you don't actually dash. And then upon exiting the screen, I try to exit with a wave dash just to maintain the most momentum that I can. Right before I land here, I go for another wave dash to get to the switch, and then the wall bounce here I don't believe actually saves anytime. I just do it because it's like more swag right there. But you can also like just hit the switch and then dash up right like this. From here you do want to dash down to get to the floor as fast as possible, and you do want to wall bounce there if you're comfortable with it. If not, just dash up forward to get to the edge. These next seeker screens, they're all pretty set in stone. You're free to experiment a little bit to see if you find anything you feel more comfortable with, but the strats I'm gonna explain are generally the most accepted ones. For this particular screen, you can either dash jump over this little elevated piece of ground and then wall kick off the other side, or just jump and dash. But your objective is going to be to land right here. This is where you want to land. Once you land here, you can hyper dash once or twice to get past the seeker. So you can either do hyper dash, or hyper dash, dash, and you'll get past the seeker every time, like that. So that was hyper dash, that's hyper dash, dash. I don't think it's worth it to learn the dash. Dashes are generally slower than hyper dashing, but if you don't feel comfortable hyper dashing twice, then that's an alternative. And when you get to this end part, you want to walk into the next screen because you want a normal jump as soon as you enter the next screen. It's just like this. You want a normal jump over that little ridge, and then you want to fall until you're past this red block without actually grabbing the red block. That's kind of like the trick to it. And what winds up happening is the seeker auto targets on you and he dashes at you and he grabs the bottom coin for you. And then after you get past the red block, you dash up, wall bounce off of it, and get the top one. I don't even know what just happened there. How did he grab that? There we go. And then from the top center block, you can hyper dash to the exit. This next screen is actually pretty simple. Because this wall that you want to wall bounce off of is literally like right under you, you can just hug the wall, and then when you're ready to wall bounce, dash up and press jump. And it looks like this. And then from this block, you can hyper dash through the second coin and fall down onto the third coin and then exit the screen. I like to exit with a wall bounce here. It's just a little bit faster than climbing the walls normally. To do that, you want to grab the red block and then jump, dash, and wall bounce off the top one. This next screen is probably the most debated screen in this section. Some people like to try to step on the seeker and make him touch the coin. That's my preferred strat. Some people like the consistency of just going for both coins themselves. So to get the seeker to move far enough back here, you have to jump as late as possible off of the big red block. So basically I'm gonna hyper, I'm gonna dash here. Notice he doesn't aggro at all. He only aggroes once you go over the top of the block or under the block. So if I would have landed all the way in the back on the floor, he would have aggroed to me and started getting ready to attack me. But since I didn't land anywhere, since I didn't move from behind the radius of the block, he hasn't seen me yet. And then I'm gonna climb up, walk to the end of the block, and step on him. See right there, I like barely missed him. I think because I got stuck on the block at the top, so he didn't back up some more. So he's gonna barely miss the thing, so I have to go get the coin myself. And that's what it looks like if you step on him properly. The trick to stepping on him properly is to just not be scared of his teeth. As long as you're like slightly above him, you'll step on him, even if like it looks like he's about to bite Madeline. And then from here you can hyper to the end. If you hyper from right here into the next screen and bunny hop on the next screen, you'll be able to step on the seeker without a problem. Oops, that's not a bunny hop, Madeline. But it'll look like that. Alright, extended dash is the same as a bunny hop if you're in the same screen. And then from up here, you want to jump dash into the next screen to trigger the next seeker and grab this wall. Once he grabs that, you want to fall into this switch and then just hyper across. That's just general fast movement. Again, from the beginning of the screen, you jump dash. Oops. And that's what that screen looks like. This last screen is the one that I'm personally the worst at. It's the one that requires the most improvisation if you mess it up at all. The general strat that most people do is jump dashing onto the red block here. That'll activate the seeker, and then just light jumping off of the block like right in front of the seeker, and he'll run into the block. By making him run into the block, you delay his next charge a little bit, which gives you time to get the coin. And after you get this coin, you want to come up here because you want him to hit this top red block so that it's not in the way on your way back. So then you come up here, you go like that, then you climb over here. And see, because I was explaining it, I'm going a little slower than usual, so he's actually like in the completely wrong place right now. He's supposed to be right next to me over here on the right. But this is what I mean by about improvisation. Like any slight timing, any slight like change in your plan is going to mess up what the seeker is doing. So you want to like just at this point just like activate yourself and like just move as fast as you can to get all the coins. On this platform you can extend that hyper dash to the end once you get the last coin, so you never have to worry about, as long as you made him destroy that wall, you can always get straight to the exit. So I'll try to do it a couple times. Oops. You can see he's kind of drunk. Like once you make him run into all those blocks, he kind of loses track of you. Oh, I made him, he missed a block there, so this is gonna... See, I tried to like just improv, like get him to run into the blocks there. These are just like different variations of this. I'm jumping too slowly, I think. Yeah, there we go. I got stuck there. So again, he's like just completely drunk. He has no idea what's going on. And I just improv'd a little bit to make sure he didn't touch me. Yeah, that's where he's supposed to be if you do the strat right. Oh, he's gonna hit this wall, so I need my dash back. That's like the scariest one. If you stutter on the bottom 2 coins and then he like keeps up with you the whole time because you were moving too slowly, that's when it gets like really scary on the last coin. But other than that, like you should be able to do the rest of the room pretty easily. I keep missing that climb. I'm supposed to be getting up there before he breaks that wall. But yeah, that's just... This is probably the hardest room to get down in Mirror Temple. See there? I missed the wall, so now I have to like just improvise because this red wall is going to be in my way. And that'll be just you getting used to Seeker mechanics. This cutscene activates when you touch the mirror. So as soon as you see the mirror, that's when you gotta activate the cutscene. This entire screen, it's better to bounce off the walls. Like, so it's better to do this than it is to do this or like this. That one, like you have to be pretty spot on with it. Same thing on this next wall. So if you're not comfortable with your movement of Madeline, just bounce off the walls as opposed to trying to dash straight to your destination. Just makes it easier. This one you have to bounce off the wall. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. Here you're gonna want to go immediately to the left. We actually skip this entire section in any percent. The only category I think that does this section is all hearts. I mean all red berries. It's the only category this at least part of this section. Everybody else like just completely skips this section. So you want to go left, jump up, and then jump up here. You can hyper into the screen, but it doesn't really matter. Basically you just want to move to the screen as fast as possible. If you want to reach the last platform, you can actually wave dash off the middle of this last elevated ground here. It'll take you right to the last one. Alright, to do this skip, you have to dash into this wall and then turn around and jump. And the reason you want to dash into this wall is because you want to maintain your dash momentum, right? So if I try to do it, you would say like, oh, why don't you just go to the left? Because if I go to the left, I'm going to run into the wall and then I'm going to lose my momentum. But if I dash to the right and then jump to the left, I still maintain the momentum because I never ran into a wall. Also, I need to dash the whole length of this bottom platform here so that I maintain my dash. These spikes are... The animations for them are pretty deceptive. They're not really as big as they look. If you remember the spikes from chapter 1, the hitbox is more akin to those spikes. These are just like drawn, more dangerous looking, but they're pretty small hitboxes as well. So again, it's going to be dash to the right, jump to the left, and then dash over the spikes. It looks like this. And you're going to grab this wall and then climb up. I'll just do it a couple times so you can see. You saw how low I went on the spikes there. Oops. It's pretty like lenient. Like how close you can get to the spikes. And this allows you to skip getting both those keys that you see on the bottom there to unlock the bubble that gets you to the next section. And then from here you're just gonna go down, In this room, you're gonna go on this crumble blocks. Remember to jump to make the crumble blocks disappear faster. If you dash to the crumble blocks, all the blocks on the screen are gonna be to the left. So because you dashed, you activated them, like you'll see right here, that the spring block is returning to me. So that gets it out of the way. But if you don't dash, the spring block is gonna be exactly where I am right now. So make sure to avoid it if you're not gonna dash. I don't hold down during this fall, because if you hold down, the Seeker never has enough time to lock onto you, and he doesn't actually charge across the room. He just stays on the left, kind of cock blocking you. So I don't hold down. Like, I hold down for a split second, and then I just let go, so that he has time to aggro to me, and then he charges across the room. Now when I get to the bottom, I dash down onto this block, and then I let the block like launch me across. I did that dash a little early. So this part is there's two different main strategies that are used for this part. The first main strategy is when you jump off of the spring, which should be right here. Yeah, when you jump off of the spring, is to wall jump to the top platform here, like this, and then use this platform to get to the top. What I do is I actually dash up after the spring, and then dash up again to the other platform. Oops, actually I don't do that. I dash here, and then I wall bounce like this onto here. Because if this thing is all the way at the top, then you can actually reach the top with a dash and just leave yourself. So those are the two main strats that you can use. It's up to you which one you want to do. This one is just like climb up as fast as you can. Some people wall bounce on the right, some people wall bounce on the left, some people do a lot of back and forth wall kicking. It's just whatever you feel comfortable with. I like to just go up straight on the right. So I do this, and then I do this, and then I just jump over to get over that little ledge, and that's it. That's how I climb this screen. But you can do it on either side. They're around the same time difference. And then hyper down, and then hyper over here. This screen, as soon as I get here, the safest strat that I like to do, there's literally every like top 5 runner does a different strat in the screen from what I've seen. But the one I like to do, so that's the one I'm going to explain because the one I understand the most, it's you hyper dash to the jewel and then dash straight up as soon as you touch the jewel. And what that does is it triggers the Seeker, he charges, and then you land on his head and you get another dash. And that dash propels you to the exit. And it looks like this. Like that. When you get in this screen, the objective of this screen is to have the Seeker break the red block in the top corner. So basically you want to get up there as fast as possible. I like to wall bounce immediately upon entering the screen on this left wall right here. It brings me up here, whoops. And then from here I dash up to the block so that I can grab it and the Seeker can aggro to me. What you want to do is you want to move to the bottom of the block so that the Seeker charges you, but you can jump out of the way. If you're at the top of the block and then he charges you, you try to jump, he's going to kill you because you have no space to escape. So you want to do this, and then you want to come down here, and then you want to jump like that. You can choose to step on the Seeker to get your dash back so that you pick up the coin and then dash back down, right? I like to just jump through the coin, land where I was originally, and then hyper out of the room. Like that. And that's just fast movement. Okay, Theo. The Theo section is pretty tedious for most people. This is another section of the game where a lot of people have different strats. It's just generally what you feel comfortable doing. There are some strats that are faster than others, but for the most part, like if you can't execute them, then it doesn't matter. One thing you need to know is that when you pick up Theo while having momentum, it kind of like stores the momentum, so your character goes faster. So if I like pick up Theo and walk, like that's what it looks like. Oops. Come back here. But if I dash into Theo and pick him up, like you can see that she kept going like a certain little distance right there. And if I jump, then it, you know, she maintains the dash momentum. So if I would have just grabbed him and jumped, like that's what it looks like. But if I dash jump and grab, oops. Like you can see she goes a little further even though that was a little slow. So generally what you want to do is you want to like just let go of grab so that you throw Theo and then dash to pick him up so that you're having like more momentum like that. Just doing a bunch of jump dashes and then you move faster. This screen you can actually throw Theo over with like a well-timed wall kick. Something like that. I don't know what TGH does, but he does it every time, so it must not be that hard. I just go over the wall myself and step on the switch. This room, you want to jump over the Seeker and throw Theo at the same time so that Theo's at the exit, and then you want to go step on the switch. So it's like that. And then that gets the Seeker up stuck in the corner, and you can just exit with Theo as usual. Remember that if you land slightly behind Theo, you can dash to pick Theo up and then jump right after, and you'll have like a bucket load of momentum. Same thing here. This one you want to throw Theo over the Seeker, but you want to pick Theo up again right before he falls. And you'll get used to doing this motion of like throw, dash, catch, throw, dash, catch, throw, dash, catch, because it's the fastest way to move with Theo. So you'll eventually get used to it. And then what you want to do at this section is you want to do 2 wall kicks and then throw Theo at the switch. Here, so 1, 2, throw, and then get over. This section is kind of the trickiest. You'll see that there's like purple eyeballs in the wall, right? There's 2 like right next to me looking at Theo, and then there's one in the darkness like of the gap that I'm about to go through, and then one in the darkness like under the Seeker. And those purple eyeballs, those are good visual indicators for when you want to throw Theo. So I like to get to that last purple eyeball in the darkness, and then I like to throw Theo forward, dash, and catch him. And what that does is the Seeker's already aggroed on me, but he winds up behind me, so he has to like turn around and dash to the right, as opposed to dashing to the left. And what that does is it lets me jump on the Seeker so that I can trigger the switch. Let's see if I can get it. So you see he doesn't aggro it through all of this right here, right? But as soon as I get here, the Seeker aggroes, right? So what I want to do is, as soon as I get there, I want to throw Theo so that I can switch the sides of the Seeker and then jump on him. Oops, I messed it up a little bit there. And like, okay, he's aggroing a little too fast. I might be doing it too late actually. Yeah, there we go. So it's a little bit before the eyeball that you want to do it, because you want to be on that elevated piece of ground as the Seeker is coming so that you can just jump on his head pretty easily. Oops. So like as soon as you go under this underpass, you throw Theo, and then you come over here and you catch him. You can also use those explosions to propel yourself. And this is really consistent if you get used to doing it. Another strat that I know some people do that they don't like going for this is they throw Theo and then they come up here and they get to lock themselves. And then they go down and get Theo. But if you practice this strat, you should be able to get it like most of the time. It's pretty lenient. This room, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm really bad at this room. This is probably my worst room in all of Mirror Temple. You should probably watch other people do this room, but I'm going to explain what I do anyway. What I do is I like to come up here, and then as soon as he aggroes, I jump forward and step on him, and then I come over here and get this switch. Right, and that opens the door. But what's going to happen is when I go down to the bottom and go back to the right, even if I'm moving as fast as possible with dashes and stuff, the Seeker is going to chase me. I can't stop him from chasing me, and that's what makes my strategy pretty bad. I personally need to learn a new strategy for this. What I like to do is I like to try to bait him down to this corner, and then I try to like jump on him. But if I don't get it, like sometimes it gets really sketchy. He goes all the way to the door. Like this is one of those ones that you're going to have to improvise a lot and just figure out a strat that works for you. I'm sorry that I don't have anything better. Okay, for this room, you want to stand on the tip of this, on the left tip of this here, and throw Theo. You want to throw Theo, and then you want to dash to trigger the platform, and then catch Theo. It's pretty straightforward. This screen is just a test of how many buttons can you press at once. Basically, you want to throw Theo, and then you want to dash, jump, pick up Theo at the same time. So dash is one button, jump is the other, and grab is the third one. So it's literally all the buttons at the same time, and you want to grab them all at the same time. And you want to hold them all at the same time. So you dash to activate the block, and then you press all 3 buttons at the same time. And then that's how you like fly across the screen. And I'll do it one more time. I like to throw Theo deep into the platform so that it gives me a little bit more space to work with so I don't miss picking him up. But that's essentially that room. And sometimes like, if you don't do it right, like that, stuff like that's going to happen. But that's what you're looking for. This screen, there's probably a faster way to do this screen, but the way I do it is very consistent and very safe, and it also gives you the added benefit of being able to kill a Seeker, so that's always nice. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk up to this platform, I'm going to throw Theo on it, and then I'm going to go up and I'm going to go get Theo. So it looks like this. And then with a couple dash jumps, you just come to the exit real quick. If you do it a little faster, whoops, I need to dash. If you do it a little faster, the Seeker winds up coming up there, and then he goes there, and then, oh, I missed him. I wanted to execute him, just for the entertainment value. What a jerk. He doesn't want to die today. He gave me one chance and I blew it. But this is what the strat looks like. It's because I'm jumping way too high when I hyper back. I'm not supposed to be like holding jump on this hyper. There we go. This screen, you want to throw Theo right around this section here. It's actually okay to even like dash with Theo from the door, like if you want to move a little faster. You just can't dash after Theo is on the platform, because if you dash after Theo's on the platform, then whoops. If you dash after he's on the platform, he gets launched back to the start, so you have to start over. So you want to like dash here and then throw Theo and make him land on the platform by dashing, and then go over and pick him up. So again, throw Theo, dash, and then go over and pick him up. Pretty simple. This last screen, I got a super easy way for you guys to do this one. What you're going to want to do is you're going to get on the second step from where Madeline is right now, and then the Seeker is going to aggro to you, and you want to make sure to cleanly jump over him. You do not want to kill the Seeker. And then you're going to take the spring and throw Theo up to the platform, and it looks like this. Once you get up here, the Seeker is going to be mad at you. He's going to try to come back and kill you, but every time Seekers bounce off the wall, they bounce a set distance every single time. So you just let him bounce off the wall, and then you step on him. From up here, you can jump right here and then throw Theo through the red, because Theo can go through red, but you can't. Or you can use the spring to make sure you get the throw nice and clean, and it looks like this. And then you can either dash here and pick Theo up, and then finish the room. Yo, can you get my guy back? Or the other option is... Oops, that's a bad thing to do. So do an extended hyper from here and then dash up. That's like the best way to do it. So I'll do the room one or two more times just so you guys have a better visual of what it looks like. And you can see that makes the room super easy, super consistent. As long as you don't kill this guy, and you don't even have to like rush like to get up here with Theo. As you can see, like I'm gonna throw Theo. I'm not even gonna catch him again. I'm just gonna throw Theo up there, and then I'm gonna go up and get him. Like that. See, like it's not even like really technical. It's really easy. Throw Theo, dash up. Oops. Don't get me, Mr. Octopus. And then you. The last eyeball screen, it's mostly just execution, like understanding the mechanics of the screen. The wave that comes out of the eyeball pushes you out of your dash, so you want to just dash when the wave is not coming. It takes a really long time for the first wave to come after the patch, so I recommend like just trying to get as much speed as you can at the start. And what I do is I throw Theo in so that I can dash pick him up from right away and just start building up speed. And that's the wave I'm talking about right there. It's on top of Madeline right now. That pushes you back, so you have to wait for that so that you can dash. Otherwise, it'll cancel your dash. And then throw Theo at the eye. And that's Mirror Temple. Hopefully that helps you guys.